All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Fabian Putzing. I'm the founder and co-founder of Sustainable Sports, which is the agency behind SustainClub, the first and only label for sustainability in professional sports clubs. And I'd like to take the next 30 minutes or so to introduce to you the SustainClub in its criteria, in the way it's laid out and its certificate process. And with me from the VfL Wolfsburg is Nico Briskorn, Director of Corporate Social Responsibility.
Hello, everybody. I accompany this workshop today, SustainClub, and my name is Nico. I'm from the German Bundesliga club, Wolfsburg, and we've been through the process of SustainClub twice, so I would give you some insights from the club perspective at the end of the presentation.
All right. As Nico already mentioned, our idea is to first go through the certificate and its content, and then if you have any questions, just feel free to type them in. I'd like to have more of a discussion than a front presentation, and we would always gladly be coming back to them. I'd start with a little bit of background, who's behind the scenes of SustainClub and what we are doing, who's involved in which part of the process. So on the right side, you see Sustainable Sports. We are an agency, an NGO founded 2011 in Basel, Switzerland. We consult all the things around sustainability in sports. We work together with associations, sports clubs, sport operators, and venues. And what makes us a little bit different from others is that we take a holistic approach to sustainability, meaning that we try to build sustainability management in sports associations and clubs around the three pillars of sustainability: ecology, economy, and the social part of sustainability. So far, we developed two standards: SustainClubs and Sustain Events. And I'd like to introduce you SustainClub today. And as it's our product, we outsource more or less the whole certification process to the DEKRA. It's founded in 1925, a little bit older than our organization in Berlin. The DEKRA is an expert and certification organization who has services in the area of sustainability, and their role is to go through the whole certification process as in the clubs, whereas we offer the standard to DEKRA for the certification process. As a background, why is it important to think about sustainability management, about sustainability in sports organizations, especially in professional football organizations? And the topic of sustainability will be increasing, has been increasing in the last 10 years. Since the early 2019s, there's a lot of talk about sustainability. For us, all the talks about social responsibility of a club as a citizen of a country is part of sustainability, and and you see that there's a growing pressure on every organization, especially in the football sector, to deal with issues of sustainability, may it be the ecological, also the economical or social part. We believe that if it's tackled jointly and proactively by clubs, it is an opportunity for German football, but also for the European football, and it creates a lot of win-win situations. But our hypothesis is also that sustainability should be systematically integrated in the management processes of football clubs, similar to companies, and by this taking into account the special role of football, also the special organization style of football and professional sports clubs. Why this? It is that sports clubs and associations have a huge sustainability impact, not only on the ecological and economical side, but also on the social side. If you think about fan engagement, how to do teaching for sustainability with fans, how to involve fans in these issues, and clubs can act as a role models for special groups in the society, as well as they can directly make a big difference by applying measures in all parts of sustainability. It's not that you can go and take all the standards you have in organizations and adapt them 100% to a sports organization. There's a lot of different things to consider when dealing with sports organizations, and especially football clubs. This is the idea behind SustainClub, why we developed a standard solely for professional sports organizations in order to deal with their special needs. For us, the main part is that SustainClub helps you and the clubs to make a systematic sustainability management possible in clubs organizations, and this is one of the main gains you have through SustainClub. It is the only label for sustainability in sports, as far as I know, and it's a standard for professional football clubs at the moment. We have a sustainability management system in the background, and we have developed the whole criteria catalog as well as this certification process together with 6 pilot clubs, from which one of these is the VfL Wolfsburg and the DECRA as our partners. And we were very happy to announce that 6 Bundesliga clubs were able to attain the SustainClub certificate this year in October, which is the FC St. Pauli, Bayer Leverkusen, VfB Stuttgart, SV Werder Bremen, VfL Wolfsburg, as already mentioned, and the FC Paderborn. I'd like to go now into a bit of more detail on what is behind SustainClub. We have a catalog of criteria, which I already mentioned is composed of 3 different pillars: economy, environment, and social. And I'd like to go through the different chapters you see there shortly. The idea is that sustainability management is one of the most complicated management issues to implement in organizations, because there are so many people from different areas of the organization involved in order to attain the information you need for getting the label and for doing sustainability management. And this criteria catalog helps you to find out which information you need to organize it, and from this status quo analysis on to work on improvements in sustainability. And it all starts with a management and organization chapter, in which the management part asks questions all around how the organization is managed, what are the KPIs, what is the mission statement of the organization, what are the values in chapter 2 of the organization, how do they deal with compliance questions. Another part of the economical pillar is all the questions around stakeholders and partners. How do sponsors deal with sustainability? Are they sustainable? Do they have a sustainability strategy? Do they have sustainability reporting? How do you deal as a football organization, or a football club, which is more or less an event organizer in every 2 weeks? How do you deal with catering? Do you have do you look at how the food is produced, where it comes from, and all the supply chain issues on chapter 4, where we already have also have the catering questions and merchandise questions. What's your merchandise like? Is it sustainable produced? Where does it come from? Do you print your brochures or not? And Do you have an app or something like this? These are the economical questions. Here, there's also all the questions around how to communicate sustainability issues and sustainability measures the clubs do. And in the second pillar, we have all the questions surrounding the dimension of environment and nature, which is first and foremost energy consumption and emissions, energy consumptions around the stadium, off the stadium, but also of other infrastructure the club holds. And then the question of emissions by renovating stadiums, by renovating or investing in other areas of infrastructure. Then a huge part is the question of mobility, transport, accommodation, and emissions of fans, volunteers, players, and staff. Then a growing part is all the questions of material and waste, water and food. How do you deal with waste? Do you separate the different kinds of waste? What's your concept on using water for toilets? What's your concept on using water to irrigate the field? What kind of technologies do you use there? And then surrounding all this, we have some criteria around the general environmental management system. The third pillar, which is not really smaller than the others, but we didn't have this under points, is dealing with the focus on the people, the social pillar of sustainability, where we lay a focus on employer development and participation. How can they participate in enhancing the club, in driving the club forward? What's the take on clubs on diversity, equal opportunities, and health? And then in the 11th section, all the questions around how do you get involved with society, with fans? What's your approach to youth work? What's your social engagement in the area your club is? That's the third pillar. And we have a question from Albert South. We use we use sustainability KPIs. Most of the KPIs we use are sustainability KPIs, which means we look at KPIs from the environmental part of the criteria catalog, but also from the economical part, meaning on how much money the club is generating, how big it is, how much revenue it comprises under the year, and all these issues. So we have a quite big board of KPIs we use for management organization. So this is a first look in how we designed the criteria catalog. And it's not that these are all these criteria, but we have 193 criteria, I think, now at the moment, which 55 are from the economical part, a little bit more than 50 are from the ecological part, 58, and around 47 from the social part. You see the different colors there are that we have must criteria as well as criteria that don't need to be fulfilled but should be fulfilled. How does this work? The whole idea of the label is that we will take you on a process to a more sustainable club. And this process normally starts with an analysis of status quo. The criteria help you to analyze what you have, where you have quick wins to get in a short period of time, where there's a little bit of investment needed, and where you have to change your processes in the organization. So in order to get get a lot of clubs working on the issue of sustainability management, we have three different SustainClub labels we provide. It's SustainClub Bronze, silver, and gold. And the idea is that if you fulfill all the must criteria, which were the gray ones there, you get SustainClub bronze. And these are labels, these are criteria that are more or less easy to achieve. Some are not so easy, but most of them are achievable. And this is the starting point for implementing sustainability management and sustainability in a sports club, in a football club. And from then on, we take you on a process by showing you what you can do to get more points in the years to come for the next audit in order to achieve SustainClub Silver or even SustainClub Gold. So the VfL Wolfsburg, for example, they achieved SustainClub Gold. They have a lot of criteria they already are working on or they already fulfilled, and that's why they have the highest level. And the idea is that we will go on a process with you for a more sustainable club, and the whole label helps you to figure out where you can invest your resources in the most efficient and effective way to get more sustainable. This looks a little bit confusing, but it is not so confusing when I tell you how it works. What we'd like to show you there is how we how the whole process of getting certificated with SustainClub works. The idea is that you have a phase before the audit where you prepare for your audit, where you get all the criteria from us sent to you, with the questions on providing evidence for the criteria, evidence for the audit. This could be documents, confirmations, the code of conduct, costs of energy, the contracts you have with your employments, but also systematic collection of the most important KPIs you have. And all this material, you summon together and send to the DEKRA, and they start a survey of the status quo. They show you, okay, you are here at the moment, you fulfill these must criteria, you don't fulfill these, you have to do these measurements to fulfill all the must criteria, or we'll show you how you can get better in terms of the other criteria where you can score points in order to achieve not only SustainClub Bronze, but SustainClub Silver or Gold. Then the second phase is the audit in itself. After the survey was taken, you have time to resubmit or submit missing supporting documents, and you get an audit report where all the ideas I already mentioned are written down, and an action plan where you can work on certain issues. There will be an analysis of gaps and the elimination of gaps, and in conclusion, you will get the label in silver, gold, or bronze, and the internal and external communication can be done by you and will also be done by us. This is the first cycle of certification. After 2 years or 3 years, there's a reassessment where we go and have a look what you have done in between the last audit and the coming audit afterwards, and we will help you on improving continuously your outcome and your output in terms of sustainability. So the graphic looks complicated, but actually it's not that complicated. What's in for the clubs? What's the added value besides doing something good in terms of sustainability? I apologize for the German graphics. I couldn't get it English because I wasn't able to adapt that. We understand SustainClub as an orientation framework that provides you with a status quo analysis, which is really very comprehensive, and it is really fitted to the needs and the special organization structure of sports clubs. It's not that we have the criteria are from are really adapted to the special needs of the sports clubs, especially the football clubs. We have a lot of experience there, and we took criteria that are like the GRI or ISO norms that are the standards for organizations that work in sustainability management, and adapted them to the special needs of football clubs. This is why there's a comprehensive status quo analysis, and that is really fitted to the needs of sports clubs. We help you, and we do identify concrete improvement measures. For example, potential cost savings through drip irrigation, or potential cost savings through other measures you haven't thought about. When you get the label, you have a tool that is credible communication tool in terms of sustainability management in sports clubs. And we also want to make the label, or the label is also a basis for sustainability reporting. A lot of the criteria you will find in the label are derived from the global reporting initiatives also, and this is really a helpful starting point if you think about doing sustainability report in the near future. These are the most important added values SustainClub provides for the clubs. Maybe Nico can say something to it later, add something to it later. Before closing, I'd like to show you a little bit on the review of the pilot phase. As I mentioned, the pilot phase was now finished in October with a label for the 6 clubs from the German Bundesliga. What made this pilot phase for us really interesting is that we took a lot of learnings back to improve the label, to fit the label to the needs of professional football clubs, and to work together with the clubs on a product that helps them move forward in sustainability, and that helps them to further their development and commitment to sustainability. So the goal is that these reviews will be held in the next years to come. For every year, at least one review, in order to get the input of the clubs that are involved, but also to adapt the label to the newest scientific and scientific outcomes you have in terms of sustainability. So the label evolves with time as well as the clubs do. And that's what we think is really, really interesting for us to develop a product that evolves all the time. And before I come to an end, I'd like to give Nico the chance to show a little bit of his experience, and afterwards we're happy to answer your questions.
Well, thank you, Fabian. Yeah, like Fabian presented, the label offers an opportunity for professional football clubs and the league as well to visibly stand up for sustainable responsibility. And what I would emphasize is that it is suitable also for beginners, but also for advanced clubs that are, like, for example, our club is 10 years on the road now concerning sustainable issues, and we still use the evaluation to systematically work on those points with our colleagues where we have not yet scored well, and it started to be like a competition internally. That's the positive impact that we generate, besides that it's visible when it comes to communication. And I would add is that it is compared to environmental management systems, for example, not a deep dive on just one topic. It is a holistic approach, and really holistic. So you get this status quo, and you can have those quick wins through those recommendations you get. And that is, I guess, the difference to other labels at that point. And what was the feedback of the other participating clubs? Most reported that even those who haven't worked on sustainability really holistically within the club reported that all those internal queries promoted the exchange internally. So between the specialist departments, and I mean, that's what you need most for your work when you're a CSR specialist or CSR department. You need this, you have a cross-cutting function, and you need the exchange with other departments. So I think that was the one of the most added values that was reported from the other clubs. And what I also could tell you from the pilot is that, you know, I mean, you have gold, silver, you have bronze, and you kind of get in a sporty competition within the clubs. And I think this is also a positive thing. And that was also positively reported from the other clubs, that internally the discussion began, okay, why do we have silver or bronze? And the other one got gold, and we want to go for gold next time as well. So yeah, I think it supports the whole process internally within your club. And it's yeah, it's manageable. I mean, it's not that much time. I mean, at the beginning, it has to be quite painful, a bit at least. But from the time, it's manageable for every club in Europe, I would say. So yeah, keep going.
Thank you, Nico. There's another question of Albert South. I don't know if you can see it. So I think it's a question you are more able to answer than I am.
Okay, Albert asking the question on whether fans really appreciate the sustainability of their club. I think, or what we see on studies at the moment, that fans or supporters more and more want to get to step into sustainability of their club. So, I mean, it's the purpose generation is coming up. All the Generation Z, millennials, they want a purpose, and they want it for football as well. So, I mean, at least in the next years will come up more and more. That's at least my opinion, that football needs to go into the direction of sustainability, to offer sustainability products within the merchandising. How can a sustainable match day be part of the yeah, of the road we are all together going? And I mean, after COVID-19, we have to get back the people to the stadium. And how do we attract them? I mean, we are strong brands, football clubs naturally are, but for the next generation to come, I think it's more and more important to show that we take our responsibility serious, and they will take a serious look on it. So I think it's really important to us to step forward.
Thank you, Nico. I think I'll take the next question. You can join in if I forget something. It's Nick Pachar wants to know who the project manager within the clubs were, because presumably not all clubs have sustainability leads. That's true. There's a lot of different solutions the clubs have taken. There's always one person that was responsible, but there's also examples of clubs where the person responsible was from communication and marketing, which is also an area of the organization where you have a lot of connections to the other areas. And that's one point that's really important for deciding who will be the project manager within the club, is that it is a person who is involved very well in all the processes of the sports club or the football club. Okay, the next question from Peter Geisen wants to know how to make sustainability from a business cost to a business case. I think SustainClub will show you this if you want to take part in the process. There's a lot of possibilities. First, there's the savings you make on the ecological part with quick wins or some investments that have a really interesting return on investment. The other part is that you have a marketing tool which strengthens your brand. The third part is that there's a potential that you gain fans you didn't have before. And the third part is, for me, fourth part is that sustainability management is a management tool which professionalizes the management part of the organization, which in terms or as a goal will make your organization more efficient and effective and more able to be steered in a way you want to steer an organization. So actually, for me, sustainability is not really a business cost. This is a business investment, but it's always a business case in the end. Other questions?
Well, I could add from a club perspective that concerning the business case, we see that yeah, the purpose sponsorships are rising, and I mean that's a business case that managers see. You know, we started 10 years back and started offering CSR sponsorships concerning a project on CSR together with the sponsor back 5 years ago, and the money is rising. And I mean, we have a discussion, especially this year, about change of sponsoring within professional football, but because it's not only about reach, it's about storytelling, it's about content, and that is why I think more and more clubs will see a business case there, and we just can report from yeah, that we making positive impact from it.
All right. So I think there's no more questions. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Nico, for joining. And if you have any questions, just do not hesitate to get back to me or Nico and give us an email or a call, and we'll be happy to try to answer your questions. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.